Hello, my name is Bill Cox, and I want to tell you about the Pass GED Math website. The website has a single purpose: to help you get the 150 points you need to pass the 2014 GED Math test. The website provides you with a recipe to get the 150 points. It also provides you with the ingredients or the skills you need to follow the recipe. The address of the website is www.passgedmath.weebly.com. Weebly, W-E-E-B-L-Y, is the platform on which I've built the website. And if you type this address into your web browser and click enter, here is what you will see. The website is free. There are no passwords. It works fine on any full screen computer, but not smaller screen devices. Now, if you look at the top of the page, you can see 7 capitalized headings: the test, no calc, and so forth. These are the 7 sections of the website. And if I put my cursor on any of these headings, there will be a drop-down menu here, and so forth. These are the pages within the section and also give you access directly to those pages. So you can get from any page of the website to any other page of the website directly, because these headings are on every page. Let's look more carefully at the section about the test. And as you can see, the first page in the drop-down menu is about the recipe and the ingredients, which is what I'm covering here in the video. The second page in this section I'm going to click on is about the details of the GED Math test, the 2014 test. And so you can use your mouse wheel or whatever you use to move up and down on the page. The third page in the test section describes the 4 accessories which are built into the 2014 math test. First and foremost, the built-in TI-30SX calculator, about which we will say more later. But also there's a reference sheet, a formula sheet, and some math symbols. Now you can see that there are purple words here. I'm going to click in particular on the purple words formula sheet, like this. And here is the exact formula sheet that you will see included in available to you in the test. Now, going to that formula sheet took me outside of the Pass GED Math website, and so I used the left arrow button on my browser up in the corner to get back. Now the recipe for getting the 150 points and the skills or ingredients you need to follow the recipe are, of course, in the other 6 sections of the website: no calc, calculator, and so forth. So let's look more closely at the no calc section. You can see there are 4 pages, and these pages recognize that in part 1 of the test, the first 5 questions out of 46, you will have no calculator available. You'll have to do some basic math by hand. You might have to do a small long division problem, or multiplication with decimals, or changing a fraction to a percentage, or maybe even a simple word problem. The skills on these pages in this no calc section, if you get good at them, should enable you to get 10 to 15 points on the test without a calculator. And so that's part 1 of the recipe: 15 points from the no calc skills. Now let's look in more detail at the calculator skills. The built-in TI-30SX calculator is your best friend on the test. It not only will save you time But even more importantly, if you get good at the calculator, you can bypass math skills like order of operations or least common denominator or even simplification of results. The calculator will do all of that for you directly. I urge you strongly to get a handheld version of this calculator from Amazon or somewhere so you can practice with it. Now, just to get a better idea of what's in the website, I'm going to go down to the exponents page within the calculator section. I'm going to click on exponents. And so here are some videos and other material to help you use this particular calculator in handling exponents. I'm clicking on the video and here it is. Now again, I'm getting out of the video by clicking the left arrow button in the corner of the browser. Now there's some other material here to help you, but I particularly want to click on the fourth purple here, 1, 2, 3, 4, which has practice questions about exponents. And as you would expect, there are questions and answers, in this case 7 of them. But because this section of the website is about calculator skills, there are also here the specific calculator steps you would use to answer the question with the calculator. And every part of this section includes these calculator skills. Now, if you get good with the calculator using these skills, you should be able to get about 50 points on the test. And that's the second part of the recipe. The third part of the recipe comes from the special section, which is about 11 specific skills, small self-contained skills, which are the low-hanging fruit of the GED Math test. You can look at the drop-down menu here and see what these skills are. If you can get good with these 11 skills, you should be able to get another 40 points on the test, and that's the third part of the recipe. But let's look more closely at one example, but I'm not going to use the drop-down menu. Alternatively, I can click on special on the heading, and then I have the options here as well, and I'm going to click on mean, median, and mode just as one example of the 11 skills. And here I'm moving to the purple word. There is a video from Khan Academy about how to do mean, median, and mode.
Measuring the central tendency.
Okay, and now I'm using the left arrow button in the corner of the browser to get back. Now, some people learn better watching videos, others learn better reading lessons, and I try to include both in most of the pages. So I'm clicking, here is a written lesson from a website called Purple Math about mean, median, and mode. And again, I'm using the left arrow browser to come back. Now, this page is typical. Within the website, there are links to more than 80 instructional videos about specific topics. And there are links to more than 60 non-video internet lessons. Okay, and as you'd expect, there are practice questions about mean, median, and mode, but in this case there are no calculator skills. This is not about calculator skills. So if you've been keeping score, I've told you that the first part of the recipe is getting 10 or 15 points from the no calc skills, and the second part of the recipe is getting 50 points about from the calculator skills. And the third part of the recipe is getting about 40 points from the 11 special skills, the low-hanging fruit. And that means to get the 150 points you need another 50 points or so. And you would get those, the fourth part of the recipe, from the 3 sections on algebra. Algebra, as you can see, word problems, and graphing. Now the algebra section, looking at the drop-down menu, includes basic algebra skills, plugging in numbers, simplifying expressions, and so forth. I'm going to leave this to you to explore on your own, but within each page there are links to instructional videos, links to other internet lessons, and of course practice questions and answers. Now I want to look more closely at the word problem section, because many of the questions on the test will be word problems, and these word problems will be of three types. There will be simple word problems, there will be standard formula word problems, and there will be other word problems. A few questions will be so simple you don't need algebra. For example, you have 10 cookies and eat 3. How many are left? Subtract 3 from 10 and get 7. But most of the questions on the test will involve standard formulas, which you get either probably on the built-in formula sheet, but in some cases that you will know. And so these 8 sections: equal ratios, distance, rate, and time, simple interest, they're basic geometric formulas, Pythagorean theorem. Each page discusses a different kind of standard formula. I'm going to click on distance, rate, and time. Now, the trick in working with any of these standard formulas is to recognize which formula applies to the question and then to apply it. So here with distance, rate, and time, these kinds of questions, for example, you have a video, actually 3 videos from Khan Academy, you have a couple of other internet lessons, and you have some practice questions. There are also on the test a few questions which don't involve a standard formula, where you have to either create your own equation or in some cases even 2 equations. And the final 2 pages in this word problem section that I'm highlighting here give you help with skills to do that. Okay, the final section of the website, as you can see from the drop-down menu here, deals with graphing, converting algebra to graphs and graphs to algebra. I'm going to leave this section to you as well to explore on your own. Again, there are instructional videos, other internet lessons, and practice questions involved. So you have now seen the website. You have seen the 4 parts of the 4-part recipe, and you've seen where you get the skills, the ingredients to follow the recipe. There are a few math skills, complicated math skills, that are not part of my recipe. For example, quadratic equations and permutations. I urge you not to spend your study time on these complicated skills. Rather, if you encounter the few questions on them in the test, to guess at the answer and move on, and use the limited time you have for the test more effectively on other questions. There is also one piece of physical equipment, one other piece in addition to the handheld calculator, that I urge you to include in the recipe, and that's a small, inexpensive kitchen timer. You have on the test an average of 2.5 minutes for each question, and if every time you do a practice question, answer it and check your answer, whether on this website or elsewhere, if you use that handheld timer to see how long it takes you, you can start to see first how close you're coming to the 2.5 minute average you need. But even more importantly, you start to develop a sense of how much time you're taking on a question. One of the traps in taking the actual test, where you won't have the timer available, but is getting bogged down in a particular question and maybe spending 5 or 6 minutes on it. Using the timer to practice will help you generate a sense of time and to avoid doing that. So, you have seen the website, you have seen the recipe for getting the 150 points, you have seen the skills, the ingredients for following the recipe. I hope this will be useful to you, and if you have comments or corrections, or if you use it and pass the test, I would love to hear from you at the following email address. It's passgedmath@outlook.com. passgedmath@outlook.com. So thank you for listening.